Have you ever noticed how some people being too nice makes you feel uncomfortable instead of appreciated? They compliment you, and your first instinct is to deflect. They're overly polite, and something inside you tightens. They're kind, without asking for anything back, and your brain whispers, why? If that's you, this video isn't judging you, it's explaining you. Here's the psychology of people who feel uncomfortable when others are too nice, and once you hear this, a lot of your reactions will finally make sense. Let's start with something most people won't admit. For many people, kindness feels safe, but for some, it feels suspicious. Why? Because your brain isn't reacting to kindness, it's reacting to what kindness has meant in your past. And psychology explains this in a surprisingly deep way. 1. You learned that kindness usually comes with strings attached. If you grew up in an environment where being nice was followed by expectations, favors that had to be repaid, love that could be withdrawn, praise that came with pressure, your nervous system adapted. Psychologists call this conditional positive regard, when approval is earned, not freely given. So when someone is genuinely kind to you now, your brain doesn't relax. It scans for the cost. What do they want? What's the catch? When will I have to pay this back? Even if there is no hidden motive, your mind prepares for one. Not because you're ungrateful, but because your brain learned that kindness was never free. 2. Deep down, you struggle to believe you deserve softness. This one is uncomfortable, but powerful. People who feel uneasy around excessive kindness often have high self-awareness, but low self-acceptance. You may be emotionally intelligent, you may understand others deeply, you may even be kind yourself, but when kindness is directed at you, it clashes with your internal self-image. Psychology calls this cognitive dissonance. If you see yourself as flawed, incomplete, or not enough, then being treated gently feels inaccurate. Your brain thinks they don't see the real me. So instead of feeling warmth, you feel exposed, seen too closely, almost uncomfortable in your own skin. It's not that you hate kindness. It's that it contradicts the way you've learned to see yourself. 3. You value emotional independence more than most people. Here's something rarely talked about. People who feel uneasy with too much kindness are often highly self-reliant. You're used to handling things alone. You don't ask for help easily. You pride yourself on emotional control. So when someone is overly nurturing, it feels like an invasion of your autonomy. Psychologically, this connects to self-determination theory, the human need for autonomy and control. Kindness can feel like care, but it can also feel like dependency. And your mind resists anything that makes you feel emotionally small, vulnerable, or indebted. You don't want to be taken care of. You want to stand on your own, even if that means rejecting warmth you secretly crave. Here's the important part. Feeling uncomfortable around kindness doesn't mean you lack empathy. It often means you have too much awareness, without enough emotional safety. You see layers others don't. You sense intention. You read emotional patterns quickly. But your challenge isn't learning to accept kindness blindly. It's learning to receive it without fear. Because real kindness doesn't demand repayment. It doesn't erase your independence. And it doesn't make you weak. It simply exists. If this video felt uncomfortably accurate, that's not coincidence. It means your mind is more complex than you've been giving it credit for. And understanding yourself is the first step toward peace. If you want more psychology that explains the parts of you no one talks about, you know what to do. Subscribe.